Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a heavy topic, the recent attacks on Christians by the Islamic State and its affiliates around the world in 2025, and why the United Nations seems to be staying quiet about it. This is a story of violence, persecution, and a global response that's raising questions. Let's break it down. The Islamic State, or ISIS, is far from gone. Even after losing its so-called caliphate in 2019, its affiliates are wreaking havoc, especially targeting Christians. In 2025, these attacks have hit hard across Africa and the Middle East. In Burkina Faso, jihadists linked to ISIS's Greater Sahara branch stormed Christian villages, bombing and shooting worshippers, burning churches and looting homes. Dozens were killed and hundreds fled. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Allied Democratic Forces, an ISIS affiliate, raided Christian communities in the east, kidnapping, raping, and killing over 100 people, with thousands displaced. In Syria, a lone gunman tied to ISIS attacked St. Elias Church in Homs, killing 22 worshippers, including priests and families. In Mozambique, ISIS Mozambique has been beheading Christians and torching churches in a brutal campaign to establish a caliphate. And in Nigeria, ISIS West Africa and other groups have killed over 3,000 Christians this year alone, part of a decades-long persecution that's claimed tens of thousands of lives. These aren't random acts. ISIS and its affiliates deliberately target Christians, calling them infidels in propaganda, aiming to erase their presence. Over 5,000 Christians have been killed globally in faith-based violence in 2025, with Africa bearing the brunt. So why isn't the United Nations shouting this from the rooftops? The UN has condemned ISIS before, like in 2014 when it called their attacks on Iraqi Christians and Yazidis a threat to global peace. But in 2025, specific focus on anti-Christian violence has been almost non-existent. Here's why. First, geopolitics. Some UN member states, especially from the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, avoid resolutions that might be seen as criticizing Islam, even when it's about extremist groups like ISIS. Getting agreement in the Security Council is tough when veto powers like Russia and China are focused on other crises like Ukraine or Gaza. Second, the UN often frames ISIS attacks as general terrorism to stay neutral, which waters down the religious targeting angle. This means atrocities like beheadings in Mozambique get lumped into broad extremism reports. Third, resources and access. In remote areas like northern Nigeria or Burkina Faso, UN teams struggle to document attacks because of security risks. Plus, funding for religious freedom monitoring is tiny compared to other programs. Finally, competing priorities. With over 100 conflicts worldwide, the UN's attention is stretched thin. Silent genocides in Africa often get overshadowed by bigger headlines elsewhere. This lack of focus isn't just a bureaucracy problem, it has real consequences. Groups like Open Doors and Aid to the Church in Need say the UN's silence emboldens ISIS, whose propaganda brags about these attacks. Just today, a Vatican official called out the UN for ignoring Christian persecution, especially in places like Nigeria and Syria. The US has pushed for stronger action, like labeling Nigeria a country of particular concern for religious freedom violations, but global momentum is slow. Advocates want the UN to pass targeted resolutions like they've done for other groups facing persecution. This is a tough topic, but it's one we can't ignore. Christians are being targeted by ISIS affiliates at an alarming rate, and the UN's quiet response raises hard questions about priorities and action. What do you think? Should the UN do more? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you found this video eye-opening, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into global issues. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.